when you want to be a professional at this, you need to realize that it's not just like one or two things you need to do. What you need to do is you need to realize that you're trying to run a small business. And that is exactly what you're doing. You are trying to run a small business. And if you've never run a small business before, or if you work in a business, but you don't see what goes into operating it, I'm going to teach you a little bit tonight. And there are a few parts of it that you need to pay attention to. One of them, and this is what will break you the fastest, is not having a plan. You need to set a goal for yourself. And I don't mean just, I want to be a billionaire. Yes, it is a goal. But if that is your only goal, then, and that is what you're measuring your success on and the things you're doing, you know, you can't really understand how close you really are getting to your goal other than just looking at the zeros in your bank account. So set more measurable goals for yourself. Like, I want to get 1,000 subscribers, and you hit that. I want to get 5,000 subscribers, and you hit that. Or I want to get 5 subs a month. I want to get 50 subs a month. You know, goals like that. Give yourself smaller progressions, because you'll find that you'll be a lot more motivated and a lot more energized if you keep setting goals, and then once you achieve them, move them a little bit more forward. And make them something that you can measure. Like, I want to get 500 subscribers. I'm at 150 now. Okay, what do I have to do to get to the next level of that, to get closer to that 500, right? So you got to have a plan. You got to set goals, and you have to have a plan to get to those goals. So saying I'm going to get 500 followers, 500 subscribers is one thing. Knowing how I'm going to do that and the things that I'm going to do to get there is a whole other thing. So you need to understand what goes into it and the kind of things that you can do to affect it. And you need to try to make it work. Now, me, that is a goal of mine. Sure. I don't know if 500, whatever subscriber number you want. And you need to realize, like, what are you going to do to get there? Right. So, you need to engage your audience, your viewers. You know that you need to give them a reason to come back. You need to keep a schedule. You need to keep it a schedule, so that they know when you're going to be streaming, even if it's 10 or 11 minutes early, and then people are going to come on and yell at you because you're starting your stream early and you're not actually online. You need to just keep it engaging, right? Ask them questions, answer their questions, say hi to them, remember things about your viewers that come in consistently and talk to you. Like, for instance, if somebody were to come in and constantly ask you about your clock, that would be something that I might remember. And I would say that when I saw that person. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Streamer A to Z, it's almost kind of like what I'm doing now. I guess I'm kind of blending these two topics, pro streamer and streamer A to Z. Streamer A to Z is when I just talk about the 5 biggest categories of streaming and kind of go through that. And we're going to cover a lot of that in this little talk that I'm doing now. So you have to know your goal. You have to set a plan to get there, right? And you also need to realize, so there's the planning part of it. Like, you have to figure that out. But you also, a budget is another big thing. Whoever is yelling at you to start your stream. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. No. So you also have to set a budget and try to stick to your budget. Now, like, when I got into this, I had a certain amount of money set aside. Thank you, quarantine, working from home and not having to pay for childcare for a year and a half. Thank you for allowing me to save some money. I had a certain amount of money that I invested up front in essentially equipment and branding on Fiverr. Like, I went and got logos and stuff like that. And then I have a monthly budget that I have to spend on things like if I need help, if I'm behind in editing videos, I'll go out to Fiverr and I'll find someone that can edit videos for me to help me out, like get me out of a little crunch. Or one thing I do all the time is I use promotion services to help push my stuff out there. And you know, like I mentioned, Lilith Lux, you know, she doesn't help me for free. I pay her to help me mod here, give me manage the Discord, you know, give me advice. She's very good at different aspects of streaming and running a business than I am. So I lean on her to help me figure those things out. You know, it's hard to do this kind of thing on your own. She's really good at understanding social media and managing social media. She helps me with that. So my budget goes towards things like that, you know. And do I exceed my budget sometimes? Yeah, I probably exceed my budget every other month. Fortunately, I'm starting to make a little bit more money on Twitch, so that helps cover the gap. So you have to have a budget, and you have to realize that. And when you're doing this, like I said, as a business, keep track of your expenses, keep track of what's coming in, and try to make sure that your numbers are in the black, or that you're positive, or at least zero at the end of every month. Not always going to happen, but try. Nuna Cosmos, thank you very much for following. I appreciate it. Feel free to hang out and lurk. Love to have you. So track your expenses, track your income, try to stay in the black. Right? If you're not familiar with those terms, black means you're positive or at least zero. Red means that you're bleeding money, essentially. Think of it that way. So you've got a goal. You've set a goal. You've created a plan to get to that goal, and you're budgeting yourself properly, right? Those are some of the fundamental things that you need to do. You need to think about when you're running this, because it is a business. So now you have all of the other things that need to go into this. Now we're getting into more of like the streamer A to Z stuff. You have to realize that you need to create a brand around what you do. You need to market yourself. And I always start with these because they are the most important things you can do. If people don't know where you are or who you are or why they should watch you, why they should follow you, why they should donate to you, why they should support you in any way, you're not going to get anywhere. It doesn't matter how good your content is or how funny you are, or engaging you are, or how good your equipment is, or how good your stream is. If people can't find you and you don't give them a reason to hang out and stick around and support you, you're not going to achieve your goals. You're simply not going to achieve your goals at all. And that's, I'm not, if you want to listen to someone give you this kind of information, but just give you positive affirmation that, hey, you'll get there, just keep trying, then you have found the wrong stream. I'm going to tell you how hard this shit is, and I'm going to tell you the truth, and you can choose to listen to it or not. And I'm also not going to guarantee you anything. I can just tell you exactly how you should be thinking about it. It's up to you whether you follow the advice. It's up to you really how successful you're going to be. No matter what I say, you can listen to it, you cannot listen to it, you can follow it, you cannot follow it. Your success is really going to come down to you and how hard you work. All right? How hard you work at it. It's up to you. I can't make you successful. I can tell you things, you don't have to listen to them. I can't make you successful. How hard do you want to work? How hard do you want it? How bad do you want it? Right? I've said before too, you need to understand your competition. Who else does what you do? And don't just look at the bigger ones. Like, I got into this following Harris Heller. Harris Heller is huge. Maybe not in terms of Twitch, huge, but dude is big. Just across things. He's big. He's not my competition. I am so far below his level. He's not my competition. So what I'm saying is your competition changes. My competition now is many degrees below Harris. As I grow, my competition will change because I will start surpassing people that would be at my level now. Okay. And so your competition changes. You need to be aware of that because they are at the level they are because there's things that they're doing that are successful. And I'm not saying that you need to imitate that. I'm saying you need to look at what is making them successful. And are there things they're doing, or are there things that they're doing that would benefit you to adopt or to assimilate into your brand, into what you do? Do you have weak spots? Get someone to objectively critique what you do, all aspects of what you're doing, and have thick enough skin, accept that feedback, and make changes if you as necessary. But know your competition, be honest with yourself, and always try to be better at what you do. And if you wonder what it is you should do, think about what you would want to see from somebody like you, right? If I'm offering streaming advice, I say things, the kind of topics that I do, the way I deliver them, the style that I deliver them in. These are the things. This is the way that I would want to consume this kind of content. So that's what I do. That's what I do. You are going to be your best viewer. You are going to be your best critic. So listen to yourself and what you're going to do. Absolutely. Now, moving on from there, you need to think about the whole advertising, whole marketing aspect of it as well. I was mentioning a little bit ago that when I get into this, before every stream, I do a level of advertising. I also mentioned that I pay for gigs on Fiverr monthly to assist in advertising. There are other ways to do it. I'm comfortable using Fiverr, and the services that I use on there have proven themselves to be valuable and to deliver me the kind of results that I'm looking for right now. I will outgrow them at some point. I have not yet, but I will outgrow them at some point, and I will find other ways to do it. Now, I don't need to go over the advertising. I already kind of went over it a few minutes ago, but pay attention to it. Pay attention to that. So it's a big deal. It really is a big deal. You're not going to get anywhere if you can't get people to know who you are. Right? You can't. And you just can't do it. Right? So you've set goals. You've made a plan to get those goals. You're keeping track of your money you're spending. You've branded yourself. You're creating a brand, and you understand that everything you do on social media and on Twitch impacts your brand. So if you do some crazy shit, it will negatively impact your brand. And you need to market yourself, advertise yourself. You need to be engaging with your viewers. Find ways to keep them involved, keep them active, give them a reason to come back. Okay. And you also need to learn how to conduct yourself, I guess, for lack of a better term, for your audience style. Now, I tend to be a little bit more serious, and I was having this conversation with Lilith Lux the other day that my style of content and the way that I am comfortable delivering it may not always bring me the biggest audiences on Twitch. And I understand that. I do understand it. It is still where I choose to deliver my content because I'm comfortable with this platform. I love the people here. I love the community that's coming together. and it works for me, even though I know that it will be difficult to create a really big following, at least not quickly, right? But I have already found that when I am able to add people to the community, like the folks here who are listening to me, that they stick around. They stick around because they know that I can help them. And as I grow, I can help them grow. And that's what's important. And if down the, like right now, I'm multi-streaming on YouTube, and that's a different audience. It's a different level of coverability. So yeah, so all of those things are important, and the way you conduct yourself is important as well. A lot of people ask me about sponsors. How you conduct yourself, how you behave, how you act will partially dictate if you are or are not going to get sponsors, right? And you need to keep that in mind. Everything you do, if you leave clips on, allow people to take clips of your streams. Somebody takes a clip of a bad moment, and then they post it to Twitch, and then that gets shared with YouTube and Twitter. It's out there now. You cannot take it back. You can't take it back. There are ways to scrub the internet, but it is not cheap, and it is not ever guaranteed. So just watch yourself.